Walking in the Air, a Crossout video by Dangerously Incompetent. Last Friday, when I was zooming around in my bipod hover booster racer, I had the thought, ooh, a flying fusion. That would be good in a race, because you could go up and go really fast without worrying about the landscape, and then you come down for the gates. So I thought, yes, let's make a flying fusion race vehicle. Except I forgot one, well maybe two things. Most things don't work in race. I mean, the boosters work and the carjack works, but your weapons don't work and the harpoon doesn't work, and that's how I attached my vehicles in my last flying build, the Flying Present, and the contact doesn't work. So the only thing you can use to lock two vehicles together so that they don't move relative to each other, which is really necessary if you want to fly, is using structural parts in cunning configurations. Drat. Oh well, it doesn't matter, let's have a crack at it anyway, I thought. For those of you who have yet to watch my series of race videos, maybe a brief recap on why a flying fusion race build would be such a good idea. Your movement parts will get you going so fast. Boosters will get you going an awful lot faster. But there's a fly in the ointment, collision detection with the ground, and that which goes wonky when you go really fast. And it's made worse by latency between the client, the Crossout running on your machine, and the server, which effectively means there's a self-destruct speed. You go so fast and you go boom because of an errant collision detection between your vehicle and the landscape. And wheeled vehicles, this sort of self-destruct speed is practically, in my experience, about 300 kilometers an hour. For hovers, like this one, plane hover, it's about 250 kilometers an hour. Which is why I went to the legged build, because the legs raise the hover up, the rest of the vehicle up above the ground, so the self-destruct speed is raised to almost like 350 kilometers an hour. The higher up you are, the higher the self-destruct speed. And if you could leave the ground entirely, then you could go really, really fast without worrying about that errant collision detection blowing you up. Let's see if I can demonstrate. Up into the air, 700 kilometers an hour until I hit a wall. And that is why a flying fusion race build would be really good. After a few hours of tinkering around in the garage, it's like playing with Lego really, except you've got fewer parts, and I don't play with Lego. I create, and Lego is my medium. Yep. Anyway, this is what I ended up with. I started with a photon cabin because it's got a decent amount of power and not so much mass as the really heavy cabins. And then, of course, the two mechanical legs, front and back, because I haven't tried them in the flying build, and I reckon they'll give lots of lift. Pair of hovers to give them a bit of stability side to side in the roll. Boosters, because you've got to go fast. And what else? Oh, stallion wheels. The stallion wheels go up and down, and I think they operate in race. I think. I really need to check that. But anyway, my thought was, because they can go up and down, I can put them up as I'm sliding into position, and then push them down, and that'll help lock me in position, because if we look at the other half of the build, in the Leviathan slot, we've got wedges. And the player part comes flying in here, and pushes into these wedges, which pushes the whole leg bit down onto the platform which the legs walk on, and you really need that to be a snug fit. And I thought having the stallions here pushing down here would help that, but it turns out they're rubbish for that. the force they're pushing down with doesn't change whether they're up or down, or whether they're even considered to be in contact. It doesn't change. Up or down doesn't make any difference. Blah. Oh, the other bits of the structures that help lock it in place, so you've got the wedgy bits there, is got this tab here, which fits in that slot there. That's to help stop any lateral relative movement. And then I've got a great big hook up the front of the leg part, and it goes through, again to build for a better view, goes through this sort of loop here, so it pushes in, and that slope there and the slope on the hook helps push it through and under, and then it rises up and it hooks here, so you can't, so the leg build won't go backwards. So it can go in but it doesn't come out very easily. And hopefully all that will mean the two parts are locked together, and therefore there won't be any slippage and there won't be any changes in lift because the movement parts of the legs are slipping off the platform. Hopefully. Let's go into a test drive and see how that turns out. We have the rotational ability of the legs, we've got the hovers keeping us a little bit stable, and of course the legs are a bit slow until we boost, get the speed up. Raise the stallion wheels, make it easier to slide in, line up with the platform that we're going to walk on, gently, ever so gently over the tab, now get the hook into the loop, and now we've got the first problem. Well, apart from it taking a while, and that's, you don't have a lot of time in race, the hook won't go through the loop unless we give it a bit of a jolt. Excellent. So, now I have to reassess the stallions, because if I push them down, that actually helps push my nose up and seems to make things more stable. I'm pushing them up too much, and if I calm things down again and raise the wheels so we get back level, and if I lower the wheels, the stallions again, nose goes up, raise them, the nose goes level, but I get less stability. So get a bit of speed. Yes. As you can see, not exactly stable flight, but the principle's shown that legs will provide a good amount of lift, but I'm still having problems with the connections. The connections between the two vehicles is as good as I think I can get it, unless there's some other cunning configuration. They're still jiggling around, and that causes you problems with your lift and the stability in your flight, which means it's absolutely no good. This build is absolutely no good for racing. It's just you just spend too long trying to level yourself out and keep yourself upright. So I'm going to have to give up on my Flying Fusion race build, I think. But wait, no, there's the new faction. There's the new wheeled legs. Maybe they'll be better, because they'll have the lift of legs, yet the speed and stability of wheels. I'll be back. Watch the skies.